We're now joined by our hockey analyst, Frankie Corrado, for another edition of Hot or Not. Of course, I make a statement. You give us your take, Frankie. So let's start with Steven Stamkos. He left Tampa Bay for Nashville in free agency during the offseason. His new team will have a better season this year than his old team. Hot or not?
Hot. The Nashville Predators had a better season than the Tampa Bay Lightning did last year, and they've added more pieces around this group. And one thing we learned about the Predators during the playoffs was that they were comfortable playing in a defensive style game. We saw that against the Vancouver Canucks, and that's not something that a team coached by Andrew Brunette typically had done when he coached the Florida Panthers. They were run and gun offense. Now, if that team can continue to play stingy defensively, adding offensive weapons around them, I like the chances of the Nashville Predators to be a better team than the Tampa Bay Lightning this year.
Okay, so that take is hot. Let's move over to the Pittsburgh Penguins now, who have missed the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. And this season, they're likely to have one of the oldest rosters. So now, Sidney Crosby has played his last playoff game as a Penguin. Hot or not?
I'm going to say not, and this might be an unpopular opinion based on the lack of success that the Pittsburgh Penguins have had the last couple of years, but I find it hard to believe that in now or never mode, we are not going to see Sidney Crosby playing in the playoffs as a member of the Penguins. And this year specifically, the Metro is a little more wide open. Outside of the Rangers, and the Devils have to take a significant step, the Islanders aren't overly exciting. Carolina might take a step back. The Washington Capitals are trying to improve. You can put the Pittsburgh Penguins in that category of teams, clump them in there, and maybe they have a chance. It's now or never for the Penguins, but with Sidney Crosby maybe playing for a few more years, we might see him in the playoffs one more time as a Penguin.
I sure hope we do, just as hockey fans. Okay, now let's finish with Connor McDavid. He's in a league of his own, of course, in terms of what we've come to expect from him year in and year out. So I'm going to say McDavid will return to the 150-point mark this season. Hot or not, Frankie?
I'm going to say not. And I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but the year that Connor McDavid eclipsed 150 points, he also had 64 goals. I don't envision another season like that for Connor McDavid where he scores 60-plus goals. The other thing is now the Edmonton Oilers have been one win away from winning a Stanley Cup. His game has changed. It looks a little bit different now. It's not about individual accolades. It's not about 150 points. It's about winning a Stanley Cup, and maybe his game will reflect that a little bit more. So no, not to Connor McDavid eclipsing 150 points again this year.
We want to see it, but I totally agree with your take. And that is another edition of Hot or Not. Thank you, Frankie.